So where do you play cricket here in Germany? What is that?
DCB, Deutschland Cricket Board.
So Vamsi,
Yes, Mr. Giri Prakash.
Agriculture,
Yeah,
sports and traveling.
yeah,
What do you like the most?
of course, sports.
Sports. Are you missing sports here?
I don't say I'm missing, but there are gaps. Before, when I'm in India, I used to play on regular basis. But now, as I'm in Germany, I can only dedicate certain part of my day, or sometimes I can't train for a week. So it depends on my workflow here. But I don't say I'm missing, but the time that I used to dedicate back home and here is different.
So which sport do you like?
Yes, most Indians I like cricket, obvious thing, and followed by badminton. Yeah, volleyball I used to play, and basketball, parts of it. But these are my three major sports.
Okay. But what do you like the most? Cricket or badminton?
Yeah, I would say cricket.
Okay. So where do you play mostly in cricket here in Germany?
Yeah, during summer, take it from maybe April to mid October. So the temperatures are better here. So we play. So most university cities or big cities, they have their own ground. So it depends. Some have the turf mat and some just have the grass fields. But if the club is well associated and well equipped with the funding, so they have turf mat. Otherwise, we just build our pitch with the wooden boards and a rubber mat over it and a coconut mat, and we just prepare it and play it among ourselves.
Okay. So
Yeah.
are there dedicated grounds to play cricket here?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Dedicated for cricket.
yeah, just specially only for cricket.
Can you name one, for example, in Göttingen or Hanover?
Hanover, there is one. They have pitch and also the practice nets, and they, of course, on the sides they also play football, but only part of the ground is taken over. But they have scheduled times for cricket or football, but it's mostly for cricket, I would say. And Hanmunden, which is not far from Göttingen where we are now, they also have a same like a cricket and football ground, and the pitch they have is permanent one, so they have it for almost every day in a week. They can, if they want, they can train
Exclusively for
for
cricket.
cricket. Yeah,
But actually, who maintains this? So
there are clubs associated with that.
cricket clubs.
Yeah, yeah. Each town or city, they have the clubs, so they maintain it. And club has a like their committee and associated members who can take care of these. And they have the keys for the ground and the equipment and all. Yeah,
Okay, interesting. So exclusively for cricket,
yeah, yeah,
to promote cricket in Germany.
yeah.
All right. So most of the people are from India there.
I wouldn't say India, but yeah, depending on the teams that you visit. Now I see mix of people, like there are Afghans coming in and Pakistani people, Bangladesh. I mean, if we take it, the club from Göttingen, we have like Afghan people, Indians. Of course, most of them are Indians, like 70 to 80%. We also Pakistani people, Bangladesh. Yeah, mostly Asian, but of course a guy from UK. Yeah, and one guy from New Zealand who I know who plays for other teams in Germany. So mix, but mostly from the Asian countries.
Okay. So one club gives one team.
You know, for example, the team from Hanover, they're big number. So they actually participate in the league games in summer in two different teams, because as a Hanover 1 and 2. So if your club size is big and you want to represent in two teams, it's also allowed.
Okay. So there will be matches like leagues between these clubs and teams.
Yeah, like the German DCB, Deutschland Cricket Board.
There is a
DCB official platform.
what is that?
DCB, Deutschland Cricket Board. Yeah, so they conduct league matches for north and south of Germany. Yeah, so we play every season, like the summer season, matches among them, and the finals will be played for the north and the south. So like the Bundesliga. So whoever qualifies, they will play also in the Bundesliga, which is the well-known leagues in Germany for cricket.
And will there be telecasted like
Um,
if
Not the league matches that we play. Maybe Bundesliga. I'm not sure because I haven't been to any of those matches. I only played league matches for the
okay, okay.
yeah.
Can you share some experiences like yeah, when you played your league matches?
I mean, the schedule will be given before the start of the season, whom you're going to face. It's officially from DCB. And they will also provide the balls because you have to play with only one, like specific balls, like which they provide us. And you have to visit other teams. Like as a part of the Göttingen Cricket Club, we were traveling to Hanmunden and we were also in Braunschweig and Hanover. So they also come play with us. For example, the Bremen team came to Göttingen and played, and also Hameln team. So we travel around as a part of these leagues, but it's spread all over the summer season, and it's mostly happening every weekend on Saturday or Sunday. So yeah, and if you're depending on the pool, depending on the team performance, if you're able to top the table, like in top four, you'll be playing semi-finals, and then yeah, later to the finals. So that's how it goes usually.
So, but will you be funded for the travel?
Yeah, partially yes, because like for example in Göttingen case, like the uni takes care of these fundings. So mostly they are funded. In previous times
You
we
mean
can
university?
yeah uni Göttingen. So in previous times they also provided a bus for us where we can travel. We went to Cologne for a tournament. And I also know stories from the previous senior club players where they travel to UK from Göttingen to play a tournament or represent some cricket team there. So yeah, it used to be strong before, but now I see that sometimes you have to also put money from the club money. You have to pay from the club money rather than from the university. So, but there is funding available to
Okay.
go and play in other places.
So, but winter you can't play.
Winter, yeah, it's a special situation. Like, yeah, of course, the weather situation is bad, so we play indoors
Kind
and
of practice.
yeah, practice. So in situation of in with Göttingen, we only train once a week, like because that's the only possible spot that we had because of the other indoor sport because everything moves indoor in winter, so they have to adjust the schedule accordingly. So we only got 3 hours a week. But I know some other clubs they train 2 times a week or 3 times a week. So depending on the floating of the games that they have to schedule. But we do play winter, and they also have winter tournaments. Yeah, mostly happening Hamburg and yeah, most all over Germany. But I know from Hamburg they happen also in Bremen, and Göttingen also hosts some in last winter seasons. This winter season, I know they're also planning on hosting one in January. So there is cricket happening, but not so active. Because in indoor you only play 6 a side, not 11 completely, because it's restricted sizes of the cricketing borders.
But there is no German team.
There is officially there is
to play internationally.
yeah, and surprisingly the team captain is Indian from Tamil Chennai.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think he's also a scientist, and Venkatraman is his name, if I'm not wrong. So
from where?
uh,
Göttingen.
no, it's not from Göttingen, but
Okay. Yeah.
But there is a German national team. They sometimes play ICC official games to qualify to World Cups, but they never made it so far. But they are like.
Did they attempt last time?
Yeah, they have been attempting, but they didn't succeed to
Okay.
reach that point. Yeah, but I know they've traveled to Oman. They were in Scotland, like teams from like Germany, Austria. They play together.
But when they play, where can we watch those matches?
There will be like European cricket, like European cricket board. They give the link. Sometimes I get it in Facebook. I don't know where to search for, especially because I'm part of different cricketing groups. I sometimes see it and I watch them. So yeah, I don't know exactly where the platform I can look for.
Okay.
Yeah.
But usually they are aired, but it's not that famous to see in the channels like.
No, they telecast it, especially when two countries within European countries, when they play, they telecast them. But it's just that not so popular.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can, if you know like two teams playing in Europe, you can always go to the website and ask Google like the Germany and Austria live scoring or something, and you can, if they're playing something, you'll have the list.
Okay, maybe I think then this DCB website, maybe it's
Especially for Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you play and you go to finals. Okay. And then from that finals, from North region, South region, they play, last time they played in Berlin. So if you also finish first in that, and you play in Bundesliga, where it's more competitive.
So to be selected, get selected in the German national cricket team.
Yeah.
What are the steps?
Steps? I can't really give a clear path, because
so for example, you are in a club.
Yeah.
In Göttingen, right? So how did you get selected in that, first of all, in the club? So you join the club and then start playing?
Yeah, in Göttingen, I would say it's mostly a student-friendly club. Like if you're interested to play, you just go, see if you like the environment and the team, and you start playing with them.
Is there any contribution? And
you play club to club, it differs, but you pay like €5 a month, and and then you are part of the club if you decide to stay, and we can just start like that.
Okay. So, but what happens if more than required people are there in a team, and if you're playing some leagues?
I mean, you get chances, but maybe you have to miss 1 or 2 matches out. That depending on the coach and the captain's call.
Okay, so each club has a coach.
I wouldn't say each club, but in case of Göttingen, Uni supports, Uni wants a specific person to be coach. So we have a coach for Göttingen team. I'm not sure if every club in Germany has a coach.
And then who decides who will be in the team for the matches?
Mostly the captain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that means there will be a team for a club.
Yeah.
1 or 2 teams depending on the size of the club.
Yeah, true.
And then there will be a captain.
Yeah.
And mostly captain decides.
Yeah.
Okay. To be captain, what is the criteria to become a captain?
To become a captain, I would say you have to be a good player.
Okay.
Yeah.
Regular,
and most importantly, you have to be collaborative, not just with you are not, of course you can focus on your own game, but you should be also thinking about how other people can contribute to the team, and you have to be in contact with the coach or the committee. So you should basically focus on your game and also look into others' games and decide who can be best, and given the situation of the game or whom you're up against to. So
so that's how you become a captain.
Yeah, generally.
And then you form a good team, and then you go, and then if you play, that particular team is performing good, and then you have a chances to play for the nationals.
Yeah, I mean there are
international.
Yeah, there are chances, but it's competitive. Maybe we might think, okay, in India it's more competitive to be a cricket player because of the huge number of motivated players. But I would say it's equally competitive. It's getting equally competitive in Germany because like a lot of immigrants coming in, especially from Asian countries. And by blood, we are very motivated to play cricket from our childhood. So the competition is also getting high. It's good for Germany in case, because you get the quality players in terms. Yeah, so it won't be that easy to make it to nationals or like you mentioned, the international level. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So how do you see, and how many years it may take? What do you think to really for Germany to become qualified in the international?
I mean, I'm no expert in this, but
because you are a regular player there, so I will just want to.
Yeah, no, I know, I get it. So, for example, last year I was in Austria, so I was playing for a club called VCC, Vienna Cricket Club, and it's especially from my club that I played. It's a good club. It has a reputation. It's been there since 1970s, if I'm not wrong, and there are 6 players, just solely 6 players from my club, from VCC, who are representing Austrian national team. So it was very good exposure for me to see the national level skills, like how well the players are, and it was interesting. So they play really nice cricket in this club and also all over Austria. So when I compare their standards and the club I am from, it's big difference because in Göttingen is always like developing club, players come and go and all. But I would say it's not that far in competitive level. I follow some of the German cricket group. They're also very qualified and skilled people. But I see that they would need more of practice and they need to be mindful of their game. And so maybe in 10
most
years.
of them are students, they come and go. So
In Göttingen, you mean?
Usually in any
I can't say any, but it's a special scenario for Göttingen.
Yeah, because I think there will be second generation of immigrants here who born and brought up here, and then they may become almost already like teenagers, something like that. They could play cricket. Did you find people like that?
Well, the second generation,
yeah,
they're into the game because they're, like you said, second generation. The fathers used to play, and they come to practice from a very young age. And I saw multiple situations or players like they're starting to play.
In case if any second generation kid wants to choose cricket in Germany as a career, is it right time?
You mean now in this current?
Now?
It's a
critical question,
it's a critical question, but it depends. It also boils down to your motivation. How if you think, okay, I really want to be a cricket player, I'm desperate, I can train and play hard until I get in the nationals without even getting funding in the initial stage. Of course, money matters. You can't just be playing without money, like without your monthly income, right? So I don't know how the situation, like how well the contracts for the players within, like who wants to represent who represents nationals, but I don't think it's that big in Germany. Maybe if you become officially a regular player with contracts, maybe that's reasonable because you can finance yourself and focus on your game. So that's critical question. You have
maybe
to keep,
in the future.
Yeah, because as I mentioned, I was in Austria, like 3 or 4 people who are playing in the club that I am and who also in the national teams. They used to work in restaurants and then play for the nationals. So that explains the financial situation is not so strong, even though they're representing the national team of Austria. So so it's critical. Maybe this situation will improve further when
once if it is selected for the international.
So when standards, you raise the standards of the country with this game. So
okay, that's interesting. So that's how we started the podcast and went into but this is interesting.
Especially, I mean, cricket aspirants mostly. Apart from studies, people also look into sports when they come to foreign countries. So I think for me, it's also something that keeps me alive, apart from regular work that I do, like either studying before or working now. So when I do sport, it's some different feeling, and I can start my week like that or end my week like that, which is very fruitful.
Especially countries like Germany, especially in winter, if you don't find somebody to play cricket, kind of team games, so this information is very useful for them. So at least they can search for the nearest cricket club. How to search? I mean, usually if there is a university, they can contact university. Otherwise, if they go to the Deutschland Cricket Board website, do they get information?
But I haven't checked officially, but they would somehow, it's okay.
I mean, the straight question is how to find my nearest cricket club to go and join and feel like a home country, and then at least get out of the depression.
I can't say if I can get from the DCB, but in my case, when I came for first 1 year, I didn't know that cricket was happening in Göttingen. So somehow, friend of a friend, told there's cricket happening. If you're interested, you can go, and that's how I ended up going there once, and then started training there. But for example, we also have a Facebook page, like from Göttingen, where you can say, okay, we can see the videos of our practice sessions and the timings and the link where the ground is, where we train, and the seasons of how, like in indoor, outdoor, where when we train, or the timing. So I would suggest, like wherever the city is that you are, maybe look for your city name and the cricket. So maybe that will give you some info in Facebook or Instagram. Nowadays, you go into web and you can find literally everything. So yeah,
because if there is such a facility, an indoors facility is available, like in the uni sports or wherever, it's well and good. I mean, they can simply go there and play for 1 or 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the University of Göttingen sports, is that they give importance to every game. And they want to encourage people to come out and play sports, and so which is quite a good thing what they do. So yeah, that's very positive from them. So they want to encourage people to play and integrate and part of some group activities. So yeah,
interesting. So Vamsi, what do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah,
I keep living my life.
and then to live, what do you do?
To live, I try to work.
You try to work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the work?
Yeah, not so long ago, I finished my master's here. Now I'm working as a research assistant in the University of Göttingen. So that would take my all the week, and then weekends I'm practicing my sports.
Okay, so you are an employee of university.
Yes, officially.
Okay, can you explain a bit about the work that you do?
Yeah, it's in agriculture department, plant nutrition and physiology. So we basically check the greenhouse gas emissions in the field. So we take the data on different fertilizing grounds, and then we see the emissions. And so we have to take the gas samples almost twice a week in 2 different projects that I work.
From the fields?
From the fields.
Okay.
So
from like fields of farmers?
Like the maize, like we plant it from seed and we have to monitor it.
In the farms of university?
In the farms of university. Okay. So, and then we take the samples to lab and we analyze them, and we see the peaks when the emissions are high, which conditions. We also take the soil data and the temperature in the soil and in the atmosphere, and the rain data, the moisture, and also officially we collect the bulk density of the soil. So it's a mix of different activities. So focused on soil and also on the greenhouse gas emissions that we collect on a regular basis.
Okay, so to say in a broad sense, it's kind of environmental and agriculture thing. Okay, that's interesting. So do you enjoy your job?
Yeah, I mean, before to this, I did an internship in Austria for 1 year.
After your master's?
While I'm master's, because my plan is to come back to Göttingen, to Germany. So I have to still remain as a master's student. So I kept my student status like that because I also need to submit my master thesis. So during my master's, in my final semesters. And so during that time, I'm mostly bound to do lab work. So I go in the morning.
During internship?
During internship.
Where was it?
It was based in Vienna. In a food lab.
Okay.
Yeah, Food and Environmental Protection Laboratory. Yeah. So yeah, I was mostly going in the morning and coming in the afternoon, and mostly in the lab I'm spending with different protocols and all. So I kind of miss being outdoors because I was studying bachelor's, my agriculture as my bachelor's, and I did master's in forestry. So you can kind of say I'm like outdoor guy, and to be restricted in the lab all the time, maybe I could take it if it's like 50-50, but that felt something missing in my work routine. So then I thought, okay, I want to do some job, at least for some time, which I can go out as a part of my job. So, I mean, I am enjoying my job for now, but now the winter started, the temperatures are going to -degrees, and even in this situation, we have to go out. So this is becoming a little critical, but I would say I'm still in the process of loving what I'm doing. So no regrets, or I'm enjoying the process.
Yeah. I mean, like a biochemist or molecular biologist or a scientist, all these things, these guys, they have to spend most of their time indoors.
Yeah.
But only, I mean, the forestry or agriculture research is one of the fields where they allow, I mean,
As a
allow
part
you
of their
to,
job, yeah.
yeah, to go out and
Yeah.
explore and be close to the nature.
True, yeah.
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 So this is also a good option, great option, and
Yeah.
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 So to reach here,
Yeah.
uh, did you know before that you reached to this point where, for example, when in the school days or at least during your college days,
Yeah. I mean, to be here in Germany, you mean?
and especially in this
A
field of,
No, I mean, I wouldn't even know that I would end up in agriculture and forestry.
okay, so what was your initial goals?
So yeah, I like everybody in India studied until 10th, and then so you had to decide after your 10th standard whether you're going to which stream you're going to take,
Yeah.
like the natural sciences or physics or chemistry or maths. Like
There are plenty of streams, but we
Yeah.
know only two.
Yeah,
Or three.
yeah, it's because of MSET and everything. So I was pretty sure from my side. I'm not a pro, or I don't know so much of math. I'm not really very good at it. So I'm for sure very interested in biology and nature in general. And my father's interest is also to see me as a doctor. Yeah, so I think these two pushed me to pursue the biology stream.
Biology.
Yeah, and then I applied, like attempted exams like MSET or NEET.
Entrance exams
Yeah,
to
entrance exam.
study
Yeah,
medicine.
so I attempted first time, and I didn't make that level to reach to get the admission into the medical sciences. So I took one more extra year and I attempted again, and it was still the same situation. So my father,
Quite competitive.
yeah, really, I think out of 100,000, like 1 lakh people, barely like 5,000-6,000 will get into this. Yeah, it's good in some ways because you're getting the quality, like the most the nuts, for example, but for other people it's a loss also, like, yeah. So my father, so there was some options where my friends also chose back in those days in 2014 and 15. Yeah, so some people went to Ukraine and China and Philippines because they were offering
To do medicine.
to do medicine, especially. So they were offering like reasonable prices to do medicine, like you maybe back in those days, if I'm not wrong, 25 lakhs, 30 lakhs for whole of 6 or 5 years. You can be done with your
Medicine.
MBBS. So I know, like personally, I know my school friends who pursued this career. And yeah, so but it's the same. My father wants me to do that after the second attempt, so I basically paid admission to Philippines, one of the universities, and I also meanwhile got an agriculture seat in the MSET in Bapatla Agriculture College. No, it was not Bapatla, but they're close to, yeah, Srikakulam, close to Vizag. There's one Naira college, but we were aware that after 1 year we can get the transfer to Bapatla Agriculture College, which is also my hometown.
So basically, you have attempted the common entrance test
Yeah.
to do medicine, but you couldn't get the medicine seat,
Yeah.
but you could get agriculture.
Yeah, yeah.
To study agricultural
That's true.
sciences.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that's how. But how did you feel then? So you wanted to become a doctor.
Yeah, it was in my mind because even when the admission process for Philippines were happening, I was even telling my friends, okay, I would be doing this, and it's a different state of mind.
Yeah.
But then I had to make a decision whether to stay with my parents, spend four years and study bachelor, which is also cost friendly, because it's just barely 10,000 a semester that you pay
To study agricultural
Yeah,
sciences.
because I'm getting under the government seat. So on the other hand, if I'm going, yeah, I come from a moderate family so we obviously have to take loan to support my education, which is also burden to my parents. Of course, they're happy for them that I'm studying medicine, but it will be a burden on the long run, and I can sense that. So I had to make
That was the same situation for me too.
Yeah, I mean most
Yes.
average like the families are like this, and so I had to decide. Then I decided, okay, maybe I joined agriculture, and of course I can also stay with my family for 3 years. After 1 year I could transfer. So on my hometown and my college would be same, like 10 minutes bikeable distance, like on a cycle. So I can also stay with them, and I'm also quite sure from that time that I want to do my master's somewhere else after my bachelor's. So I want to use those 3 or 4 years being close to them and being there and yeah, supporting them.
Okay.
Yeah. So
But my question is,
yeah.
if you study medicine, you know that you can become doctor.
Yes.
But if you study this agricultural sciences,
Yeah.
did you know what you become or you will become at the time?
Yeah, the sayings back then were you can become anything. So that motivated many people to get into the agriculture sciences. Also,
You can become anything?
yeah, okay. Now, so I finished my bachelor's from 2014 to 18. So if I look at my friends now, some finished PhDs in different fields, agronomy, soil, or entomology. By now, yeah. And one of my friends who is also recently selected to IAS, now she's training. So
Indian Administrative Service.
services, and few of my friends are in the bank stream, uh, and the few are working for the industries in fertilizer companies and tobacco companies. So
So you already knew all these
yeah.
options at the time.
Well, yeah, we kind of
become-
know
yeah,
we
you
can
kind of
become
know.
anything, but it's also when you have too many options, it's also confusing for you to choose what. So, yeah, but we always knew there were options, plenty of options of what you can become.
Okay.
Yeah,
So then that's how it happened to enter into the agricultural field, agriculture sciences.
yeah, that's more or less the same. Yeah.
Okay, okay. But then, were you happy while you were studying?
In the first semester, no, because my thought process before was okay. I'm going to study medicine either here or maybe in Philippines or some other countries where it's affordable. But then I had to change my mind all of a sudden and join to agriculture. Of course, I could still take a call back then, but I still decided to stay back home, not to give more burden to my parents. So yeah, I still felt bad in my first year when I started my agriculture journey in my first year of bachelor's. But with time, I started to appreciate what I'm learning, and there is a scope, there is life in agriculture. If you look into the records, like 60% of Indian economy is supported by agriculture and farming. So you can still do a lot of good staying in agriculture, and it's no less than a doctor field or whatever that I anticipated to become. Of course, every field has its own challenges. So in the beginning, not, but eventually, I started to love what I am, what I mean. Yeah, like the bachelor's of agriculture. Yeah.
Okay. And then after bachelor's,
Yes.
what happened?
After bachelor's, lot of my friends started to apply for MSc, like ICAR, JRF, Junior Research Fellowship, to do their masters. And if I'm not wrong, like 20 to 30 people already got campus job selections with their bachelors.
Oh.
Yeah, so they were in banking sector, in tobacco industry.
How come banking sector comes here?
How come banking sector? Because you have field officers. So when you're giving loans to the farmers and all, they do require a field officers. So they want someone who have the agriculture background.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. So some went to coaching and all. And at that point, when I knew that, okay, a lot of my friends already secured a job soon after the bachelor's, I was pretty convinced that, okay, I could also get a job if I. So that's the point I decided maybe I should explore more of my knowledge. And then I started looking into masters. Of course, I started even before, but I was more confident when I see this happening within the campus and all. So I started looking for studying something that excites me more. So I'm more of a nature-loving guy. So I wanted to pursue masters in forestry. So that's how I ended up wanting to study masters. And as I told, I always anticipated to go abroad after my bachelor's. So I'm looking for countries abroad. And Germany sounded reasonable because of the low tuition fee it offers and the best quality of education it gives. And I also knew few people who from my senior batches who came here as students, and I got some support from them during the application process. So to say I only applied for one master's position, and that happened to be in Göttingen, and
Okay.
I was lucky that I got the only one. If not, I maybe have to wait one more year or a semester to.
What is the name of the program, master's program?
It's called TIF, Tropical International Forestry.
So, can you elaborate a bit about the course, master's course?
So basically, you learn about forestry in Germany and in general. So yeah, the conflicting question is we are learning about tropical international forestry in a temperate country.
Yeah.
So Germany is a temperate country, and they teach about tropics. Now, no surprise, I got to know the answer later. A lot of their projects are associated with the countries in Indonesia, in South American countries like Brazil, Chile, and also most of the African countries. So they do send their PhDs, or like they have research collaborations based in these countries. So, and the interesting aspect of this master's module is, as a part of the course, as a part of this master's course, you will be traveling 6 weeks to a tropical country. So my previous batches in this master's course, they travel to Congo, Indonesia, a few other countries, Nepal, or Laos, and we happened to go to Uganda, the African country, and so
You spend 6 weeks in Uganda.
yes, as a part of the master's program. So all of our classmates, like 30 members,
All together went to Uganda.
yeah.
Okay.
It's compulsory module that if you are enrolled in this masters, you are for sure you have to finish this, and you have to
So
travel.
that would have been fun-filled and interesting trip because
Yes.
you have your students with you.
True, yeah.
Okay. So, but the question, let me go back a step back. But you did agriculture in bachelor's, but this is quite different. Forestry,
Yeah,
right?
true.
So, was it not quite different from agriculture?
It is different, but let's keep it that way. The agriculture or forestry, it can only grow on one soil. So it's the same field. Of course, the management and what you look into is different. So either, even during our bachelor courses, we had courses like agroforestry and social forestry and some related to forestry and stuff. So the switch I made, as I mentioned like before, I wanted to see more beyond agriculture. So that's what motivated me to choose forestry. And of course, I had difficulties in the initial phase of the program to make myself acclimated to the program and the courses, because they talk more about harvesting and the cubic, like when you harvest, how much you expect the wood capacity and all, which is very new, because as agriculture student we talk
harvesting
about, like when you cut down like
forest
one
resources.
Like the tree, the wood capacity, they measure in cubic centimeters, and also it's very different from what I learned as a bachelor student in agriculture. So it took a bit more time for me to use to these terms and what they look into in forestry, but they do have some similarities.
Wasn't it like you narrowed further your options to explore? Usually, people, if you say forestry, then naturally they think it's narrow field. Because we don't know what are the other options or job openings or different things that we can do after that.
I would say yes and no. Yes, because so you need to do a master thesis in your final semester. So for my first 3 semesters, we had this, of course, the traveling to the tropical country and courses, mostly the compulsory modules in forestry. I could also take optional courses, which I happened to take them in for agriculture departments based on my interest. And my master thesis I did in soil science in agrobiogeochemistry department. So it's not entirely forestry department, it's agriculture department as well. So I had the flexibility and I had the bridge there if I want to continue in forestry or maybe in agriculture or in together, some in agroforestry sector or something. So I was pretty sure I'm not slipping away or I'm not just focused on one thing. So my idea is basically to gather more information from both sides and to be flexible to jump into anything that I was interested in. So
that's interesting. But is it true that forestry is a narrow field? What do you think?
In Germany, yeah. I mean, like even you study masters, you need to see your specializations. Like if you're like, for example, soil science, there are a lot of scope. There's a lot of scope. There are a lot of research happening, and maybe if you're studying policy,
So soil sciences come under like forestry or
one of the majors.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, when you get into those fields like soil sciences, and again, then you can broaden up.
Yeah, depending on research interest. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So because I don't know that these are the options. Yeah. When you go to, so usually we think of major things like software engineers, doctors, other things. And if you suddenly say soil sciences, environmental thing, or forestry, and people don't strike off what are the opportunities. You don't know actually.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I want to.
Yeah, I mean there are also a lot of industries who works like for construction fields. But they need a specialist to check for the soil, the capacity, if it can bear the strength of a building, or the drainage facilities and all.
Very important.
Yeah,
okay.
so we have also scope for industry. There are also a lot of industrial labs which work.
So soil sciences is not only for agriculture.
Not only, yeah. Okay. I mean, basically we have one earth and one soil all over. So everything you need to do if you want to construct a house, you need soil. And if you need plant agriculture or forestry or whatever, it's the same field.
It's actually broad sector.
It's real broad. That's where the scope for jobs is high. But of course, you need to be specialized in that area which they are looking for. Yeah,
that's interesting. Okay, so now let's talk about your trip to Uganda.
Okay, yeah, interesting.
So. You chose to go there, right?
No. We, as students, we don't have the power to choose.
Okay.
But our supervisor, our mentor, or like the program coordinator.
And then you have to say yes.
Of course, yeah, because they arrange everything. They pay part of our travel and food and accommodation. So either you say yes or you go on your individual trip to somewhere else you like. So
there is an option.
There is no option. It's just your fun trip.
Okay.
Yeah. So they will be deciding this already 1 year before, basically in your second semester. So they will be preparing documents. As part of this, you need to go to doctor also. In my case, I need to have the yellow fever vaccination, check my hepatitis B, like the vaccinations and all. So we had to do this as a part of the university protocol. Malaria medicine, because people did. But I didn't do because I was already infected twice in India, and I'm naturally immune. Yeah. So we need to do that as well. So the preparation starts already 1 year before, and they'll already tell, okay, we're traveling to this country, prepare yourself and all. And you can book your flight tickets with your mini group or major group, like your close friends, and you just travel. They give you a buffer time, like maybe you need to be there by end of October. So no later than this date we're expecting you, so you need to be there by that time. And yeah, so we started there working on forest inventory, like basically proposing an inventory plan for the forest, and also landscape restoration, like forest restoration. So maybe we can turn this forest into a better forest, or maybe raise some forest from the barren lands which were abandoned. So we do the ground research. There are like in 30 people, there are groups, individual groups working on different aspects. Some working for the policy. Some
all are international students with you.
Mostly. So out of 30 students, we are like representing 22 nationalities. So that's quite diverse. Yeah.
How is Uganda? So your first experience?
Yeah, Uganda is great. My first experience, people are nice, welcoming, and I see a lot of Indians there too. So their food is almost mimics our food. Like they have chapati with the name called other, like Rolex. So they put chapati and egg on it, and then they serve it, and they have lentil soups and everything, mostly whatever we can get in India. So you can see the replica of that, but with less spice. And there are a lot of Indian supervisors for sugarcane factories. So Uganda is some sort of country where you get rain, the most rains happening there. So for sugarcane special in particular, it needs a lot of rain. So it's a 12-month crop, a 10-month crop. So you need a lot of rain for sugarcane to grow. So there were a lot of sugarcane factories. Because of this reason, you can grow sugarcane. And I happened to see 12 supervisors or chairmen of these sugarcane factories are Indians. So and a lot of Indian restaurants were also there. So during the colonization, like from the British, some of the guys from India were taken to Uganda as part of the war location, like they were taken there, and they now have the second generation of families settled in Uganda. So it felt like home. In one word, it felt like home because.
So you could find everywhere.
You mean Indians?
Yeah.
Mostly, as wherever I travel, I see them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, which language those Indians spoke?
So I think they would get. They're Tamilians mostly. Yeah, and I can also imagine they speak the local language, which is, if I'm Sulawesi. No, wait. Maybe I don't know. I forgot the local.
Okay.
Yeah, Ugandan.
So. So what kind of crops did you observe in Uganda?
So, okay, I was not mostly in the agriculture work there. I was not doing because it's forest inventory thing. Okay. Yeah, but it's a tropic. All the tropic. They eat avocado a lot. Also, They cultivate also, and yeah, banana trees, plantations. Yeah, mostly all the crops that whatever is available in India, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did something regarding forestry there.
Yeah.
And anything interesting experience you want to share there during the trip, during these 6 weeks?
During the 6 weeks, first thing, it's a fun trip. Also, educational trip, but also a very fun trip because. Like all of your classmates and your friends traveling to some foreign country where nobody knows nothing and getting excited about the new people, culture, and working together. So,
were you accompanied by your supervisor or somebody there?
There, yes, but we took different flights and different dates, but we met all together there.
Okay, yeah, please continue.
Yeah, I mean, the idea and the process itself was very interesting and very fun. I mean, there are a lot of small moments I can quote, but if you ask me specific moment,
yeah, if you don't,
I know actually. So we were taken to forest, so we were divided because me and my partner we were digging the soil to look into the soil profile, and other people were looking at the biodiversity, and other people were looking at something. So they said we will disperse at certain point, and maybe in 2-3 hours you finish your work and we meet again at this point. So we have phones and we dispersed. So we are done, and then we're coming back. We somehow missed that spot and we are lost in the forest. So when I tell a forest, it's really tropical forest. Not so friendly because they also have snakes and everything. So it's getting dark. We are worried.
You have telephone,
but there's no signal. There's no internet. And there are like the field assistants who were also with us, but not with every group. So we kind of lost also them. But so we were panicked, and we were roaming all the other team.
You both.
Me and my other friend who is from Nigeria. So we were panicked and we were searching all along because everything looked similar in forest. All the paths, it's like all the roads leads to Rome, but nothing really turned out good to us there. So we were lost. But after 1 hour, when it's almost dark, I see somebody is whistling. So one of the field assistants started whistling, and we tried to whistle back. But even with that sound, it's not easy to find the location.
You have whistles with you,
like the mouth whistles that you do.
So it's very important to learn that
natural survival
to whistle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So somehow we reached finally after 2 hours. and then people were very happy to reach there. They gave a standing ovation because we were found again. Yeah, it was one of the scariest and also funniest. If I remember now, it's one of those good moments to be lost and found again.
Yeah. Which time is that? The summertime or winter time?
In Uganda, it's rainy season, so it's in October.
Okay.
Yeah, October.
How was the temperatures?
But they were okay, like 21, 22 degrees. Yeah, and it's rain. When it rains, it really, like in India, it rains really hard and strong for all the day. Yeah.
Okay, that was your experience with Uganda. Then after the masters, you did master's thesis also.
Yeah, as part of, yeah.
Yeah, can you tell briefly about that?
Okay, it's a project based in Chile.
Where?
Based in Chile, the
Oh,
South
okay.
American country. But we didn't have to travel because one of the PhD student took the samples from Chile, the soil samples. So basically, analyzing carbon in the soil and looking into specific carbon components. So the idea is you look and see the traces, the special chemicals that emits during the fire process. So you look
During?
when forest fire happens. So these chemicals, BPCA, these are the biochemical chemicals that are spread out into the soil. So based on that, you can trace, okay, the intensity of the soil, intensity of the fire was like this, and
due to these chemicals.
Yeah.
So where do these chemicals come from?
The burning material when the fire happens in the forest fire.
Yeah.
So, like for example, you say that the fire happened in a forest. So it burns the crown and the leaves and everything, and it somehow boils down and stays in the soil. So this fire intensity causes the chemical release.
To form different kinds of chemicals.
Yes. So when you see that, it acts as a biomarker for fire.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So here we took the samples and we processed them, analyzed them, and we used the GC, gas chromatography machine, to look into the components, like which of these chemicals is high and which times they're emitting, and we look into the ratios. The ratios will tell the intensity of the fire happening. So yeah, that was basically the research work that I was doing.
This is to know the history.
The fire, so you can basically build the chronos sequence. Okay, this year the fires happen like this. So they also collect the fires from different years. So basically you can structure, okay, fires.
They can also predict.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, that's about your master's thesis.
Yeah.
And then after master's thesis, then what happened?
So while I'm doing my master thesis, I got this opportunity to be as an intern.
Okay.
So I took a break, like a year, the gap year. So I applied for this and I went. So I took this opportunity because the internship is part of also the UN organization called IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency, which is based in Vienna. So I felt it's a really good chance for me.
There you did your internship?
Yeah,
during your master's?
During my master's, because I took 1 year break.
Okay.
Yeah.
International Atomic Energy Agency.
Yes, there. Yeah, it's based in Vienna. So I went there. It's one more interesting part of my academic process because this time it's entirely on food samples.
So what is the link between food samples and
I'll get to that. So they also use gas chromatographies to see the contamination in the food, the chemicals and pesticides used, and also my special machine that I would be working is IRMS. This is isotope ratio mass spectrometry.
To detect the traces of radioactive material.
Yeah, I mean but we are majorly looking into stable isotopes. So, but we want to look into the origin. Like maybe, like if you have a wine, you can really put the wine sample in it. If you can see, if you can look at the label when you purchase made in Italy or something. So you can really say from this machine IRMS if this wine is really coming from Italy or they're just mimicking it.
How come?
Because we look into the isotopes in this. So grapes or the wine produced in Italy has a separate, like specific isotope ratios of carbon, oxygen, whatever. And
Okay.
so they have the history or the database for this, and they will match the sample with the database of the wine produced in different regions of Italy. So based on this, you can say, oh, this is fake because the data is a fingerprint. Basically, it's not matching. So using IRMS is nothing but it's a forensic report for the things that you can't see. You can analyze it chemically, and yeah, we can see the results. And you can also trace the origin, like I mentioned, where it's coming from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Region-based
Yeah.
isotopic screening, for example,
Yeah.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the significance? So, to know the contaminations in the food, or just to know the history?
This is one part of the lab like works. So
Okay.
as I mentioned, my work is mostly isotopes, like the stable isotopes, and knowing the origin of the food samples that I got. Back then, I was working on the samples from Costa Rica, the coffee samples. So yeah,
Okay. So you learned that there.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
That was amazing. Okay. And then that is somehow linked to your current job.
yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, it linked. So after this, I came back to Germany to finish my final writing as part of my master thesis. So I started writing and then started looking into jobs already, and then the current job that I'm doing, they posted this job, and the description says they deal with isotopes and also the greenhouse. Look, I also worked with greenhouse gas emissions as part of my student job while I'm a student. So I have some experience, and with isotopes, I did 1 year internship, and I also know how the machine works and all. So I was kind of pretty sure before I applied that I might get this job, and yeah, I ended up applying it. Yeah, and then they were happy to take me in, but after a lot of bureaucratic situations, I landed in this job.
You didn't need a German language for that.
No, like most university jobs, you don't really need a language proficiency, like German language. So
By
yeah,
the way, did you learn that? Learn Deutsch?
no,
German?
so I'm still struggling. So yeah, I try time to time, but so far not a serious attempt from my side. Yeah, I think that's a lazy excuse from my side, but yeah, maybe I should start improving my German. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So that's interesting. Um, Looking back, by the time where you actually tried to become a doctor, and now,
Yeah.
how do you feel? Any regrets?
No, I think I'm happy about the ways that turned out to me. I mean, I can imagine like some of my friends are in this medical field now. Maybe I wouldn't have been happy just being within the four walls, and yeah, it's just a different field of expertise. But I would have been happy also there, but I can't say I'm less happy now. So yeah, no regrets from my side, but I'm happy how the things changed and turned into person what I am now. So yeah, no regrets.
So, to me, you are still young. So, so what are your future goals?
I don't.
Maybe
Okay.
after 5 years or 10 years.
Yeah. For now, I'm in this job. Maybe after it's a contract for 3 years, and then maybe I'll look for some better opportunities. So this job I started soon after my master's. So there were also thoughts of about doing a PhD or just going the job, but I somehow felt like I still need time to figure out if I want to continue in academia or to do PhD, because yeah, situations like I know few people or few postdocs, they say academia abroad is not so easy. Like to be in the university, you really need to strive hard to get your position and hold on to it. So that was kind of downsetting, like the negative side for me to look at, and so I wanted to take it slowly and have a thought process and have like to think about it, what I could do better. Or so
So the job that you hold right now, it's not permanent job.
It's a 3 years contract.
3 years contract. Okay.
Yeah.
So what triggers you to explore the subject, or
Basically, the subject is very new. Also, of course, I did my bachelor's in agriculture, but not specific to plant nutrition. So most of the concepts are new to me. So yeah, it's been 6 months I started. So I'm still learning the concepts and the analytical methods they explore as in their lab. So, and also the field experience that I get is also immense. So I'm happy to be there, setting the experimental fields and being a part of real research, also in the lab. So it's keeping me quite busy and also giving me motivation to learn new things. So
do you like to stay here
in Germany?
Yeah.
That's a typical question. So as much as I want to stay here, my parents want me back with them. So it's 50-50 for now. Maybe if you ask the same question after 5 years, I will be more settled.
I mean, my question is like, do you want to, if you have a choice,
Yeah.
would you prefer Germany or any other country?
Like going back to the point you said, I'm still young, so I would take the liberty to explore a few other countries,
okay.
And then see where it takes me, like in career-wise. So as I told, one of my things is also traveling and exploring new places. So I think at certain point I have to stop this because of some other restrictions I might get. So I would like to take the freedom to travel, experience work in other places as well, but I don't know how far this can be practical as of now. But yeah, given the chance, I would try different countries, and if the time comes that I have to be in India for any particular reasons, I won't feel bad to go back to India and settle there. Yeah.
So along with your job, your sports,
Yeah.
cricket, badminton,
Yeah.
what are your other hobbies?
Other hobbies,
Yeah.
socializing, like cooking with friends. I like to socialize, learn about new cultures, and interact with the people from different backgrounds. So that's one of my hobbies, I could say. And I like to travel. So while I was in Vienna, so Vienna is like it's a small country, like Austria is a small country, and Vienna, they have the cheapest air connections. So I was not so far from the airport, like it's 40 minutes in a train. So I took the liberty to travel to almost 18 European countries because of the commute distance was short to the airport, and also the fares were less. So I like to travel.
18.
18, which is looking back, I feel wondered how I managed to have a full-time internship and not so well paid. UN doesn't pay you so much when you are interning with them. So with the financials I have and with the amount of holidays, so it's been quite a productive year for me while I was in Austria.
So Vamsi, would you like to give any kind of suggestion or message to the upcoming students, like who are in their bachelors?
Okay. Like I mean, coming here to Germany
to explore their future.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. It's like when you're in bachelor's, I assume when I'm in my bachelor's, I don't know so much about the outer world. So I was born in India, I was brought up there, and I only know the system there and how. But now I think the situation changing. I looked into some stats from Germany. So there were 20,000 people coming to Germany from India in 2018 as students. Now the number is almost 40 to 45,000. So this itself shows that many people are exploring. I would say keep looking for your choices where you can go, and don't be afraid to take those simple decisions or choice. If you think it will be useful in any point of your life, just go for it and come out of your comfort zone. That's where you grow. So as much as you want to be in your same circle or just don't want to explore many things, you will just be there. I mean, you can get your credits time to time, but I feel you will enjoy more when you explore the other options. So take that decision or make the move with whatever you're doing and explore the world. And world is full of opportunities. I'm sure your parents will be proud of it, and you'll feel happy when you are 60. You're happy for whatever the choices that you make.
You can always come back.
You can always come back. There is choice, and
Yes.
yeah, life is full of opportunities.
That was an amazing message.
Thank you very much.
Are there any very disappointed situations in your life till now? For example, when you couldn't go to a medicine seat, something like that, or anything.
No, it was disappointing, given that my mindset back then was different.
Or struggles, because so when you look back all the podcast, so it feels like it's a kind of cakewalk.
Okay.
Because we didn't discuss any struggles that you actually went through, not intentionally. I mean, like not focused. But if you could tell a little bit about the struggles that you faced during this journey till now.
I mean,
if there are no struggles, that's okay, because it's depending on the personality how you takes, right?
I get your point. It's good that you mentioned it. The point you said cakewalk. I can say that I made it look like a cakewalk. Of course, there are many caveats down the negatives on my whole journey, but I rather try not to focus on them, because whatever journey you take, I don't think it's going to be a straight cakewalk. So the more you ignore the negatives, the more you can focus on the positives in journey. For example, in my case, my father was never happy till to date, like that. I'm not a doctor, so he still has these memories that say, oh, why couldn't I send him to Philippines when there was chance and he could have been doctor. So the problem with him is also he always thought about me to look like that. So it was not easy for him, and he's my father, very close to me, like almost like my friend. So when looking at him like that,
it's also not easy
for me. And it's a lose-lose situation. So I talk to him every day almost. So we also get these conversations. So, but I rather try to focus on the positives, that I'm here now. I'm exploring a new country, new life, and new career options. So so there were situations, but I try to move away with a smile, and
So with that, I wish you all the best for your future endeavors. Thank you very much for coming to my podcast and for your time.
Thank you for exposing me in your podcast. It's also good that you make me recall some of my memories and my career decisions. So I really enjoyed my time with you.
Cool.
Thank you.